Nikhil's had a very strange couple of days in Dubai. When he went there, he already got rain in the desert for the first time after a very long time. He discovered another KULDEEP Yadav who's helping Bangladesh. Just attended the press conference now that Rohit Sharma has done, and it is bright and sunny. But Nikhil, it's not that hot in Dubai at this point in time, right? It's a bit cooler.
Yeah. It's pretty much like Delhi weather actually. You know, where winters are almost over, and it's much like springtime sort of weather that's there in Delhi, and it's pretty much here in Dubai also like that. Yesterday was a very unusual day. Overcast conditions throughout, rain in the desert. Who would have thought? The debate here has been whether that was natural rain or was that through cloud seeding, which does happen in Dubai. But I think the last time they did something like that, there were floods here. So I'm guessing they'd avoid that. That's something that I asked Rohit
you made that comparison with Delhi. It just takes me to that suggestion every time there's pollution in Delhi, that the cloud seeding suggestion gets made. Now you tell that, you know, even in a place like Dubai, there's flooding that happens because of cloud seeding. I think the administration should be listening and turning away right now.
Indeed.
Yeah, but that was a one-off. That was just a one-off. It only happened once. That flooding. After that, it's not happened. In Delhi NCR, it's a common occurrence. At least certain parts of Delhi NCR which get flooded all the time. That doesn't happen in Dubai.
Yeah, you name it, you get it here. You get a bit of flooding, you get a lot of pollution, you get a lot of heat, and you get an occasional earthquake as well.
Sorry, I didn't hear any of that. Sorry, you'll have to come again.
I was saying Delhi at this moment has a bit of everything. You like you mentioned, there's flooding you get over here, there's intense heat, there's intense cold, and you get an occasional earthquake over here as well now.
Yeah, I know. I heard about it. I wasn't there in Delhi. But glad to note that all of you are safe and sound.
Yeah. So, Nikhil, how has been the hype around the Champions Trophy in Dubai? Because there were certain visuals that were shown in Pakistan of empty stands at the National Stadium in Karachi. They may be filling up now. Pakistan, many people are saying that the hype is probably not as much as it is. How is the hype of the Champions Trophy in Dubai?
Not so much in Dubai, Siddharth, and that's primarily because of the fact that, the tournament isn't here. Other than the Indian team, there's nobody here, and there's nobody going to be here other than that one competing team. So Bangladesh is here, they'll go back, and then, of course, Pakistan will come, they'll go back, and then, New Zealand will come. But as such, this is not the venue that's hosting the tournament. I mean, the last tournament I covered here was the Asia Cup, and then that entire tournament was here, so there was far more buzz. But having said that, I guess you can take India-Pakistan encounter to a non-cricket playing country like Russia as well, and I'm sure it will gather fans to come down there, and there will be buzz. With Dubai, you will definitely have a lot of locals coming in, whether they're Indians, Pakistanis that reside here, other people from other cricket playing countries, and I know a lot of people from India are also traveling for that. So you will see that buzz. The tournament, of course, has started proper in Pakistan. Very surprising to see that not too many people turned up at the stadium. Who knows who's turning up now, whether they're genuinely bringing in the fans to turn up, or are they even, after a bit of an embarrassment of how the first innings really panned out, you can make a few phone calls and then distribute free tickets and get clubs and other people and players and all of them to fill in. It does happen. It's a reality. So I don't know whether they are filling it up. I know it's a working day, so all those things are spoken about. But in India as well, you can have a working day, but a big tournament, especially if the host team are playing, you'll seldom see a situation like what you saw in Karachi. So that, for me, was very surprising in terms of the fans not turning up for that game. But the other thing that really stands out, this is going to be the test for ODI cricket, this tournament. That first innings went on for more than 4 hours.
Yes.
To complete those 50 overs, Pakistan, New Zealand. So if you're trying to bring in the crowd, you can't have one innings going for more than 4 hours.
Exactly. I mean, it is best symbolized by Haris Rauf losing his run-up not once, not twice, but 3 times. And, I mean, it can just be summed up. I mean, it's not a tap on the shoulder or anything. My 6-minute video ended. Haris Rauf's 48th over didn't end. It was just halfway. 6 to 7 minutes it took for Haris Rauf to complete over number 48. 4 hours and 11 minutes was the entire Pakistan bowling innings. And
They paid a penalty for that towards the end.
this field penalty thing is a hogwash. You need to go back to the 90s. Penalize them with overs.
Yeah, lessen the number of overs.
Lessen the
No, I
number of
think-
overs.
But just the fact that you're letting one fielder inside the circle, not too many outside, I think that also they had to pay a price for that as well. Because later on in that innings, they actually went for a lot of runs because of the same reason.
Looking at the way how Glenn Phillips was batting, looking at the way how Tom Latham was batting, even if you had all the fielders outside, it
That's
still
fine,
wouldn't have
but
made a difference.
See, it's debatable as to how one should go ahead and curb, time wasting and ensure that things happen in a proper manner, in a time controlled manner. But see, even a fielder makes a difference. Let's be honest about it. Having one fielder inside, as you saw, finding the gaps becomes easier. Clearing the rope becomes easier if there's one fielder inside. They had just 4 towards
And
the
by
end.
the way, the lengths that the Pakistani bowlers bowled towards the end, it wouldn't have made a difference. I mean,
Absolutely.
fielder is up at mid-off,
And you're
Shaheen
bowling
bowls the
this
back of the hand full
with
toss,
back
he
of the
hits
hand
it back.
full-
So,
yeah.
all these plannings, all these kind of things just doesn't make sense. And Pakistan are doing Pakistan things. Saud Shakil took a lot of time, and now Babar Azam is taking a lot of time. Fakhar Zaman's injury has ensured that yes, they will not get that momentum. He might get it towards the middle overs, who knows. So in that way, yeah, typical how the tournament has started. But Nikhil, you have been there now for 3 days, and in one of the days, India didn't practice. Today they are going to practice.
They have already. I think
They are starting.
They're
starting.
at
They're
the
starting.
stadium as we speak.
Yeah. What is the buzz that you're getting about the rigors that they're doing in the practice session? Is there any indication of how they are going to have the team composition heading into the game tomorrow? What is the buzz there in that sense?
Well, no. So no, we haven't got any indication now because they're about to start practicing. But here's something that I'll tell you very important that our viewers would love to know. The Indian team is not doing a net session today. So I mean, it's
just
not an
fielding
optional
today, I
practice.
guess?
I believe the entire team is here, and I know that the entire team is turned up. But I'll confirm that as we go along. But the team is not doing any net practice. That's the most important bit. What they're going to be doing today is going to be a lot of fielding practice and a lot of catching drills that they want to do. 2 reasons for that, 2 primary reasons for that. One, you're going to be playing under lights, and it's always good to get accustomed to lights. Different grounds have different light systems, so probably trying to get used to that. That's one of the reasons why they're going to be doing fielding drills, maybe taking some catches around the boundary line. And secondly, even to look at the dew factor. Now, as you know, I did a video a couple of days ago about the dew here. So we haven't really seen any dew in Dubai so far. Today also I'll have a look, but the last 2 days, there was no dew as such. Of course, yesterday was a completely wet day. It was raining. Interestingly, another information for our viewers, interestingly, it's going to be overhead conditions even tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know how much rain is predicted, but it's going to be overhead conditions tomorrow. But there's been no dew. So they've probably come here to really see it for themselves because each day is very different. I did ask Rohit Sharma about that dew factor, and what he mentioned is that, because I told him that we've been looking around and there hasn't been any dew for the last 2-3 days that we've been here. And he said, yes, that is true. They've also noticed that. But he said, we're not ever 100% sure whether you're going to have dew or not. And he gave an example of India, and he gave an example of recent game that happened in Nagpur in the England series. He said, leading up to the match, there was no dew, but on the game day, there was dew. So he said, these are Indian cities where we have a lot of information about those cities, and yet we can't get 100% prediction right on the dew, even though we take a closer look at the lead up to the game. And he said it'll be similar here in Dubai. So who knows what is to happen. But he said overall, we'll have to see on the match day. But just asked him about overcast conditions, saying, who would have thought, one day rain, other day overcast condition. And he said, two very interesting bits that he mentions there. One, he says, overcast conditions, yes, it could be, but overcast conditions at 28, 29 degree temperature and overcast conditions at 9-10 degree temperature are very different. So what he was trying to tell us that yes, you could have overcast conditions here, but the temperature will be 28, 29. So he doubts it'll be like, when the temperature is 8-9 degrees in England or sometime in South Africa and the ball does a lot. So he says, so let's try and differentiate the 2 scenarios. Overcast in 29 degrees here in Dubai will be very different. That's one thing that he mentioned. And the second thing he mentioned, that he said, assuming that these overcast conditions are going to be seam friendly, he says, even on that front, we're not worried. We have enough fast bowlers to, get purchased from those conditions. And he says our batters are good enough to get you a big total even in those conditions. So he didn't seem overly worried about this scenario, whether it was due or whether it was the overhead conditions.
As we speak now, Glenn Phillips has taken a stunner to get rid of Mohammad Rizwan, and I think it's rightly said, catches win and even change matches. But then Nikhil, I think going back to that one thing, you mentioned about the weather here, like it's slightly on the cooler side, pretty much similar to what Delhi is like, as of now. It's something that, we did our dugout also on yesterday, but would love to have your thoughts on this. Assuming, there's no dew, what do you think, what could be India's possible combination here? Would you be tempted to go with 3 specialist pace bowlers and have Hardik Pandya as your 4th seamer and have 2 spinners? Or you would stick to your winning combination in 2 specialist seamers, Hardik Pandya, 2 spinning all-rounders, and either of Kuldeep Yadav or Varun Chakravarti?
I don't think the Indian team is going to veer away from their tried and tested formula of having 3 spinners and 2 fast bowlers, Hardik being the 3rd fast bowler. I think that is something that they will go with. And it was quite evident in what Rohit said also today. He was asked about, why have you gone with 5 spinners? He said, no, we've not come with 5 spinners. We have 2 spinners. The 3 of them are all-rounders. So he made it very clear. It was a very different way of putting it. And it made sense. Because he then made a comparison. He said, sometimes you have other teams that come with 6 fast bowlers, but nobody says, why you got 6? Because 3 of them may be fast bowling all-rounders. So you'll say, nobody says that, you got too many fast bowlers. So he says, when you look at all-rounders, which are fast bowling all-rounders as all-rounders, and only so a team comes with 6 fast bowlers, but 3 of them are all-rounders. So nobody will say 6 fast bowlers. They'll say, they've come with 3 fast bowlers and 3 all-rounders. He said, why don't you say that about our team as well, where 3 of them are all-rounders? So that was an interesting way of putting things, and it does put it into perspective. He said that we're going to be... See, that's the strength that a lot of other countries have, where they can have all-rounders who are fast-bowling all-rounders. He said in India, we get all-rounders who are spin-bowling all-rounders. So we'll make do with that. So I doubt he looks at it like too many spinners, too many fast bowlers. I think he still looks at playing 1 spinner in his mind, 1 out-and-out spinner, 2 out-and-out fast bowlers. So those are the 3 bowlers. And the rest of the workload is shared between 3 all-rounders, which are going to be 2 spinning all-rounder, 1 fast bowling all-rounder. So that's your 6 bowling option. I think that's the way they're looking at it. It was pretty evident in what Rohit said. So if I was to deduct anything from that, 3 spinners and your 2 fast bowlers and 1 Hardik Pandya. Yeah.
Sir, is the Indian team going a little way too ahead as far as believing in their own plans is concerned? Because as far as the conditions are to suggest, and what we also saw during the ILT20, fast bowling is something that's gotten help from the Dubai conditions, and plus now, as you said, that they are going to be overcast conditions. Even tomorrow the weather is a little cooler. So don't you think that this maybe the right approach could have been to go with 3 fast bowlers, seeing the conditions, and while picking the team, India did not read the conditions that well, and the conditions did change. But now, because you have gotten 5 spinners, in that sense 2 spinners and 3 all-rounders, they have no other option but to play this combination?
No, see, they have the option, Jadwat. If they really want to drop a spinner, they will be making a fast bowler sit on the bench. It's not necessary to have a fast bowler sit on the bench. So they have the option of playing it. Whether it's the right decision just to have gotten those 3 fast bowlers and not have a backup if you are playing those 3 fast bowlers, that's a different debate. I'm not getting into that. If the need be, let's say hypothetically, India does want to go with more fast bowlers than spinner, they have the options. They'll play all 3 and Hardik Pandya. So they don't have to summon anybody now from the outside to do it. So they can do it. But as I said, I don't think they'll do it. So again, the debate is whether they took the right call or not. Hypothetically, I'm saying my opinion may be that no, they should have taken another fast bowler instead of a spinner in that squad. So instead of 5 spinners, remove 1, maybe another fast bowler. That could be my opinion. But clearly, Indian team's opinion is very different. But then that becomes a debate about our opinions. And I don't want to get into my opinion is correct and yours is wrong. So I think the proof of the pudding is going to be in its seating. We'll see whether India, really do well or not. Let me give an example of the game that's happening in Pakistan right now.
Yeah.
Where out of the two venues, or out of the three venues, which is Rawalpindi, Karachi, and Lahore, Karachi, I was saying traditionally has been that one venue which has helped spin bowlers, and yet Pakistan go completely different way, right? They only have one spinner in their hand. And look at New Zealand, that have always had two proper spinner playing in their team, and also a part-timer in that. So completely different approach they've gone in. And the toss also hasn't gone their way, where they'll be bowling second. Imagine if they were bowling first, those spinners would have been even more lethal. So it's just the way of looking at things. I mean, Shanto was here, and when he was talking, much of the questions around the Bangladesh press conference was about their fast bowling. He said that, listen, we are also proud of our spinners. We've got the spinning resources to do very well. I know the ILT20 fast bowlers were doing well, but can I tell you, I was looking at the overall results in Dubai of how potent have spinners been and fast bowlers, and I think it was very marginal. I think fast bowlers were ahead, but very marginal. If you have a scenario like that, then if I'm the captain, then I'm going with my strength. If I have better spinners, then I'm going with them. So, and you look at the Indian team, I think what we are making a mistake is looking at that what is India doing in terms of their bowling preference. However, the difference is India is picking their team, keeping in mind their batting preference. And I think that's the change of outlook. When I say that, I mean, what they're trying to do is that they want batting till 8. You got to think like that, batting till 8. So that's their first motive. How is it that we get batting till 8? If they had multiple fast bowling all-rounders that could ensure that they can have batting till 8, I probably think they would have gone with that mindset. And that was very clear with what Rohit said now as well. So one thing is for sure, in their mind, they want batting till 8. That's their first option. And I think the only way they can do that is with having 3 all-rounders. So they've got 1 fast bowling all-rounder and 2 spinning all-rounders, they can do it. But they can't leave out an out-and-out spinner as well, right? Because you have 2 other spinners all-rounders. So effectively, 1 spinner and 2 fast bowlers. I think that is the compromise they've gone with to ensure 8 batting. As I said, we can debate whether, somebody might say, no, 7 batters are good enough and you don't really need the 8. If 7 can't do it, what will the 8 do? That's a difference of opinion. But I do see logic in what India is doing, depending on what they want. I could disagree with the fact that they want batting till 8. Maybe I was captain, I'd be happy with batting till 7 and then pack my bowling, in which case I could play 3 fast bowlers. But then I think it's a question of priority, or what is it that they want.
Like you mentioned, like there are many people who have the opinion of, going in with just 7 batters and just another specialist bowler. So were there any questions regarding this to Rohit Sharma as far as the combination of the team is concerned? And also keeping in mind that Dubai is not going to be as high scoring as Pakistan as far as the venues are concerned of this Champions Trophy. Is this the right approach to pack your batting till 8 and compromise on your bowling a bit, keeping in mind that it's not going to be as high scoring as, needing 8 batters in that sense?
Well, to answer your second half of the question, probably then this would be the right approach, where you are on a pitch where batting is not that conducive. And so instead of packing their bowling lineup, you need batting till 8, considering that to get to a competitive total, you may need a long batting lineup. Let's say you're batting in Lahore, that could be a ground where you go with batting till 7, saying it's going to be next to impossible to get wickets. So you could look at it. It's again, as I said, these are glass half full, glass half empty sort of a scenario. I don't want to enforce my own opinion. I only want to report what I'm seeing here. And right now, what I'm seeing is that there is logic in what Rohit Sharma is saying. I can disagree with his opinion of as I said, of having batting till 8. But if he wants batting till 8, then maybe this is the place where you would need to, where batting isn't that easy compared to every other place. So if that's the case, then do I need too many bowlers? Do I need too many out-and-out bowlers? Anyway, batters are going to be, finding it tough. Maybe my part-time spinners can also do the job. So I take their part-time spinning ability, but I'd rather concentrate on their batting abilities to get me to a good total. I think that could be the logic. As I said, again, I could argue from both sides. It's a question of glass half full, glass half empty.
Nikhil, the most trickier question that the Indian team is going to have, I mean, even Bangladesh might do it. They're preparing for a Kuldeep Yadav. But looking at the conditions, and will they be tempted to get in a Varun instead of a Kuldeep, knowing that he may be the mystery spinner?
Could be. Rohit was asked about the mystery spin of Varun Chakravarti. I found that very interesting, where he said that The question was a very nice question. He was asked that, can you pick his variations in the net because the rest of the world are struggling? And Rohit said that actually he doesn't bowl his variations in the net. So he just keeps it to himself, doesn't give us those variations. He said, I'm absolutely fine with it. So long as he brings the variation to the field, I'm fine with it. And I think, and this is my assessment, I think the reason that Varun doesn't bowl too many variation is down to the IPL.
Yeah,
Because in
definitely.
IPL,
No other
matters,
reason.
and he doesn't want everyone to know what else, what other, weapons he has in his armory. So to keep that, I think he doesn't show, everything that he's got. But would they be tempted? He was asked about KULDEEP and SHAMI'S fitness, and he said, yeah, they're looking absolutely match fit. They've been fine. The comeback is good. So on that front, I think he may start with KULDEEP. That's my, again, guess. But even if it's to go with a Varun Chakravarti, I don't think that will be a massive surprise for me.
Nikhil, one more thing. One of our viewers yesterday, commented in our yesterday's dugout that India might opt to use Varun Chakravarti in the knockouts, assuming India qualify for the semis and final, just to make sure that they use his mystery to the fullest. So, do you see a role for Varun Chakravarti just in the knockout stage only, assuming India get there, or you see him playing in the group stage too?
I think, see, again, if hypothetically, if you start with KULDEEP, then do I want to be in a situation that I change and bring a bowler for knockout? I think that'll be a bit foolhardy. Again, they could do it, but I find that a bit out of line. So they could bring in the change. Let's say I'm trying to think logically as a captain. If I'm starting with KULDEEP, then I'm giving him a couple of games to see his performance. If it is not up to scratch, then I bring in Varun. But let's say if he's been up to scratch and good for you, above average for you, even if he's not been outstanding in the 3 matches and you've reached the semi-final, then would I want to make a change in the knockout? I would not. I'd rather continue with a guy in rhythm rather than take that risk of just bringing someone suddenly. I know you can use it as a surprise weapon, but then KULDEEP himself is a surprise weapon. I know he's been around for some time, but he has the kind of capabilities where he can surprise the batters, and I think the opposition teams know that. That's why they got someone like KULDEEP Yadav to bowl at them in the nets, and they asked for him specifically. You've seen the interview on Sports Today. It wasn't just that a group of bowlers came and someone was a fast bowler, someone was a Chinaman. No, they specifically asked for a Chinaman because they wanted to practice, because you don't get a chance to practice. They don't have one in their rank, so they wanted someone to practice like that. So that makes it interesting. That kind of gives me an idea of how much opposition teams respect you. Rohit did not give any clue as to who would play. He spoke about both KULDEEP and Varun, and in high regard. So very tough to read the captain's mind at the moment as to who plays. But I think whoever you start with, then you keep him and give him a 2-3 match run. And if he's good, then he carries on in the knockouts.
So mostly players pick themselves in this 11, but if there's going to be discussion about anyone in this side, I think mostly it's going to be about 2 people. Between HARSHIT and ARSHDEEP, who's going to be the one who would start, and seeing the obsession the Indian team has with batting, is there a chance that HARSHIT Rana starts ahead of an ARSHDEEP, also keeping in mind his performance in the 3 ODIs? And secondly, a Washington Sundar has gone specifically for oppositions who have too many lefties in their top 7 batters.
Yeah.
Bangladesh is one such opposition, and also Washington Sundar can offer much more with the bat as well. So do you see Sundar starting ahead of an Akshar Patel and HARSHIT Rana starting ahead of an ARSHDEEP, and anything that Rohit gave hints on regarding this?
No hints on that. Again, he kept his cards very close to his chest. But I agree. We spoke about Washi, and I knew this for a fact. We reported it on Sports Today that when there were talks that how would you bring Varun, people said that Washington goes out. I made it very categorically. I'd said at that time that no chance of Washington going out, because I knew that the captain had asked for it, and I know that Rohit wanted an off spinner. And then if you wanted an off spinner, it was for days like this where you play a team with a few top order left-hand batters, and this is that one team. Could you bring him in? Possible. But if you ask me, it's very tough to look beyond Jadeja and Akshar also. So while I agree that he can be that option, at the moment, again, this is me second guessing the captain. So I doubt Washi comes in, even though there is merit in him coming in. That's one. In terms of fast bowling, you said it right. think I saw him in the net, and boy was he talking it. He can really pack a punch. He's a. Some people are big hitters, but he's a powerful hitter. At least that is what you could notice in the net. They are a big fan of him. But again, if I'm picking the team, I'll go with Shami and ARSHDEEP. Just on the batting front, let me tell you, ARSHDEEP himself was hitting some of the biggest sixes. In fact, his batting stint, and he batted for very long, 40-45 minutes, and he was only hitting sixes. He did not even try to defend one ball. He did not even try to, go onto the back foot to one ball. Every ball he was hitting, and ARSHDEEP was hitting some massive sixes. Massive sixes. So clearly he's also been told that that's the role that we see for you. So in that sense, I don't know. If you ask me, ARSHDEEP and Shami should start, but I don't rule out the third option as well, because you gave one option, I picked one. Don't rule out the third option of HARSHIT and ARSHDEEP as well, because Rohit was asked about Shami's match fitness. He said yes, he's match fit, but he's not played too many games for us at the moment. 2 ODIs, yes, he played T20. Who knows if Rohit could be
the
tempted.
counter to that, Nikhil, being
I don't think he'll panic now.
The counter to that being that at the outset, this is what we were told, that the idea was to keep him fresh for the Champions Trophy. So if he didn't play enough across those 6 matches, that is the 3 T20s and the ODIs as well,
5 T20s.
the 5 T20s and the 3 ODIs. The idea was to keep him fresh, which is why he wasn't played too much. I think he played 2 T20Is and 2 ODIs. So that's what Gambhir said. So keeping that in mind, if the idea was to keep him fresh for this, then, and when Rohit says he's match fit, you add the 2 things together, it tells me that Shami should be playing.
And also Gautam Gambhir confirmed it.
No. That's what I'm saying. If you ask me, the 2 bowlers that are starting are ARSHDEEP and Mohammad Shami. But what I'm saying is that you're looking at, they wanted to keep him fresh is another thing. But this is what I could gauge from Rohit Sharma's answer, that he was asked about Shami's fitness after injury. What I could gauge from his answer, that he's not 100% convinced that he's, absolutely there. So there's a good chance they start with him in this, in the Champions Trophy, and I think they will. But my point is that, reading between the lines of Rohit Sharma's answer, I don't think he's overly confident that Shami is absolutely fit. At least that's what I got. I could be wrong, but at least that's what I got. By the way, the other interesting bit which I wanted to tell you, again, this is no indication of the difference between 2 teams, but I saw the net session of Bangladesh, I saw the net session of the Indian team. In terms of big hitting and packing a punch, it's not even a contest. India were head and shoulders above. India hit 200 sixes in their net practice. Bangladesh may have hit 20. So I think that was, I'm not to say that means that Bangladesh cannot hit sixes. Maybe they were focusing on different things and India focused on different things. But, in terms of watching a power-packed practice session, there was daylight between what the 2 teams did in practice.
But, given what Bangladesh have to present over here, maybe, there are people out there saying that Bangladesh could in fact be of tougher competition to India than Pakistan, given what we're seeing from Pakistan right now. That's what I have seen from people, not just basis this, but a couple of days as well back, I remember reading such comments too. But the one thing we cannot ignore is the fact that yes, Bangladesh in the past across formats has tested Indian team. 2019 you could argue,
except the T20
2017
format.
was one way that we know, when India won by 9 wickets in that semi-final.
Yeah.
However, 2022 T20 World Cup, India were tested. If it wasn't for that break and the direct hit that followed, India were tested.
Yeah.
You lost the series, you were lost in the Asia Cup as well, you lost the ODI series as well, which took place last year. So, keeping the hard hitting aside, there is a challenge that Bangladesh possess as well.
No, they do. I mean, so I don't think, and this is what Shanto referred to, that there are no easy matches. But let's be honest, because you compare it with Pakistan and that Bangladesh might present a tougher challenge, I doubt that. I'll tell you why. If you look at the form leading into this series, so see again, the mixing format. I think Bangladesh, you're right, in T20 cricket have given you a tougher run. They did well in Bangladesh, but you need really spin-friendly conditions there. And there was a close match in the 2015 ODI World Cup that I get to. But I think over a 50-over game, I think at the moment, looking at the form, Pakistan could be a slightly tougher challenge than Bangladesh, is what I see leading up to this tournament and the form that these two teams have shown. I know Bangladesh went to Pakistan and won the test series there. But I think in ODI cricket, with the things at their disposal, I would say, I think Pakistan could pose a greater challenge. The entire conversation around Bangladesh and their practice and their press conference was again about their fast bowling and how they've got good fast bowlers and they have a crop of fast bowlers. I know Taijul is there, Nahid Rana is there, they've got Mustafizur as well.
Tanzim as well.
Tanzim
all of
Hasan
these bowlers
Saqib
were
is there,
being,
yeah.
Yeah, so all of them were being spoken about. But the maximum that, I felt that they would, the Bangladeshi media and everyone was talking about was Nahid Rana, how fast he is. But I remember Nahid Rana, he played that
Chennai test
in
match.
India.
Test,
And I think the Indian batters really batted rather well against him. So that, and also against pace, I don't think you trouble Indian batters. We saw against in that England series, they handled the pace very well. So I also Nahid's pace in the Bangladesh Premier League, I think he missed one match because of injury, and then his pace had also dropped. He's not even a 100% starter now. So I think they are more relying on their pace factor, which I don't think really troubles this Indian team anymore. Unless they're like seam-friendly conditions and, ball is moving a lot, that can put the Indian batting under pressure. But if it's like easier batting condition and you're trying to scare them with pace, I don't think that is going to happen. So that's it. You spoke about some of those matches which they ran close, even in T20. The nemesis for India, Litton Das, he's not, I think, part of the squad.
No, he isn't. He isn't.
He's not.
But Mehdi Hassan is.
Mehdi Hassan is. There is a Mushfiqur as well. There's Mehmadullah. These are stubborn characters.
Yeah. See,
Soumya Sarkar, Mehdi Hassan, all of these guys.
Yeah, the only veteran in that pace bowling lineup is Mustafiz and Taskin. Taskin's also been around for quite some years. I think close to a decade he's been in now. Taskin Ahmed. So
2015.
And Mehmadullah is ageless.
Mahmudullah, he's like Mohammad Nabi. Will keep on playing him. But this is last match that we know at this stage.
You were talking about ARSHDEEP and Harshit Rana hitting sixes during that practice, their first practice session at the ICC Academy. So are they going to decide who's hitting bigger sixes on that basis? The second pacer is going to be decided?
No, not at all. That's silly. You're never going to be picking a pacer based on who's hitting big sixes.
I hope that's not the case.
Who? Obviously not.
This is not a gully cricket game that is going on.
Super six.
You get 8 runs for hitting a longer six.
IPL, you have post an IPL game, you have those 6 hitting. It's not that. But my point was, the point I was trying to make was that I know that Harshit is known for his batting. He does very well. He's, I think, opened in domestic cricket as well. And he packs a punch. But all I'm saying is that
We've lost our connection there. So, yep. I mean, that was
be assured, Sashwat, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah,
if Harshit Rana is starting ahead, I don't see any other reason for Harshit starting
longer
ahead.
sixes he's hitting.
No, if he's starting ahead of an ARSHDEEP, what other reason is there to back that
See,
up?
left arm option, yeah.
No,
Simple.
if Harshit Rana is starting
Harshit
ahead
doesn't
of
start, honestly.
No, he doesn't. Ideally, he doesn't. But if he starts ahead of an ARSHDEEP,
He was,
Then I think,
of all 3 bowlers that you have in the fray, he had the maximum game time.
See, if you look at it, Harshit took wickets. But then he was taking wickets at a time when he was also conceding some runs.
but he was
That
not
too at
even
the
in the
start.
squad. He was picked after an ARSHDEEP. He was later drafted in because
Bumrah wasn't fit. Simple as that. So, yeah, I think looking at the way how things are, ARSHDEEP should ideally start. Shami should be there and Hardik is your other pacer then. So 3 pacers there. You've got 3 spinners. Aksar and Jadeja are confirmed. But is it Kuldeep or Varun? That we do not know at this point in time. So, see, the Indian team would never have released the playing 11. They never do.
Okay, players to watch out for. Maybe 2 we can pick from Bangladesh.
I would go for...
So firstly, cakewalk or not for India tomorrow, and then you can name.
No, it's not going to be a cakewalk.
Not a
for
cakewalk?
India. No,
Not a
not at
I
all.
think it could be. Because
Cakewalk.
India, in the current way, how India are playing, need to look at a 2023 World Cup. It was a canter for them. They just raced through that
I think the
target.
conditions, because keeping conditions in mind, not
I'm
a
almost looking
cakewalk.
at the same conditions.
Yeah, just a little because it can be a little slower as well in Dubai, as you know.
No. For me, see, the two guys when you have to look at batting is concerned is
Overall, just pick two players. Both can be batters. One can be batter. One
it's
can be bowler.
Mehdi Hassan Miraz because he's always hurt India.
And he's all-rounder spinner.
He's an all-rounder spinner. Then Zakir Ali has been in very good form leading into the Champions. So, I mean, in the West Indies series, he was very good. So that's why I picked those two from the Bangladesh team as the players to look out for in that sense.
Me, Soumya Sarkar and Nahid Rana.
Okay, for me it's Mehdi Hassan and Mahmudullah.
What about the P's?
I'm going to look at Mahmudullah. In fact, since you picked Mahmudullah, I'm going with Rahim because, again, I think these two guys are stubborn characters, as I was calling both them.
But Rahim
I think
lost
maybe-
his mojo in 2016.
I think maybe I'll make a change here. I'll go with Mehdi Hassan and Rashad Hussain. He's a leg spinner who is actually making those waves in international cricket. And knowing that, the Indian batting has struggled against spin, even, in the ODI series against England, they did find it difficult to face Adil Rashid I think on more occasions. I think Rashad Hussain could be a game changer for Bangladesh.
But I wouldn't be surprised, talking about India a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if Washington Sundar and Harshit Rana both start ahead of Akshar Patel and ARSHDEEP. And the reason being because despite the fact that you wanted a Varun Chakravarti in the side, you did not let go of a Washington Sundar. So I don't see any other reason to keep Washington Sundar
while I don't think he plays tomorrow also, if he at all plays, it has to be tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of any other side being as left-hander heavy as this Bangladesh side is.
That's why I'm saying, otherwise you would have let go of him when you were drafting in a Varun Chakravarti back.
Say in Australia, because there's going to be a Carey there, there's going to be...
Australia, you don't know
Travis
if you'll
Head.
play or not.
Travis Head, Alex Carey.
I think against New Zealand, he does stand a chance. New Zealand have a total of 4 left-handed batters, and if Rachin Ravindra is fit, then it makes it 5.
Yeah, you have a Devon Conway.
Rachin,
you
Devon
have a
Conway.
Latham.
Let's assume Rachin is there. So you've got Conway, you've got
Latham.
Rachin, you've got Latham, you've got Santner, you
Bracewell.
have
Bracewell. So I
makes
don't
it 5.
see that happening in a way. See, Washington, he's there as a backup. But you cannot ignore your two left-handers.
Exactly.
The only tussle is between Kuldeep and Varun. And unless those two, it's this entire left field selection and Washington comes in and replaces both of them.
Yeah.
It improves your batting also to number 9 in that essence. Because
You will play Harshit also at number 10. You can.
so you got 10 batters. You're going by the
11
T20
for
template.
Let's forget
At 11
bowlers
get
who
Rishabh Pant.
exist. Let's
11
have
you have Shami.
Let's start having 11 batters who can roll their arm over, 5 of them, 6 of them, and let's hope that these 11 guys will at all times be touching 400, 420.
In T20s,
and they're good enough. But that's
in
not how cricket is
T20s,
played.
only Sanju Samson doesn't bowl. Rest of the 10 bowl.
Yeah.
And there are 6 batters who are proper in that. 6 to 7 batters, okay? In the T20I setup, you've got 6 batters, okay? You get a Akshar, Jadeja, it gets to number 8. You get a Washington, you get to number 9. You get, in a way, what is the
I think
thing?
that'll be the 3rd woman chief minister of Delhi.
4th, right? Sheila Dikshit.
Sheila Dikshit. There has been...
Then you've got Sushma Swaraj.
Sushma Swaraj.
Then Atishi. Oh, Rekha Gupta.
Interim, na, she was.
But still, interim or a proper, yeah? So good, very nice in that sense. So yeah,
4th.
Let's take a couple of questions.
questions please at this point in time. And Pakistan are in trouble, but I think Morning Gents, Mr. Shekhar GTN from the Morning Gents, X Factor fucker down for the count. Not really. He's
batting
hobbling
right now.
on one leg, but I think his chances after this game are all but over. I
Let's
don't
see.
think he's making it to the game against India and also for the game against Bangladesh. It looks very bad. He's really struggling to rotate the strike and all that kind of thing. So, yep, not looking good for him at all. So, yes, Fakhar Zaman is out in that particular game that we are looking at. And what is the other comment? And chasing under lights, Shanta TB is saying, chasing under lights will be challenging as you have seen today with no dew around. Dubai wicket will be more sporting than Park wickets. Is it? I don't know. I haven't seen how the Dubai
They will
wicket
have
is.
something for the bowlers as well, I think.
Remember, this is the first time you are playing an ICC event in February, We really don't know how the pitch is going to be. We really don't know how it's going to be like. So I really don't know how it is. And freaking awesome is saying, the start from Pakistan reminds me of the game between South Africa and West Indies in 2003 World Cup. It was the first game in that World Cup. West Indies started really slowly. Sean Pollock had bowled brilliant.
About 26 runs in 15 overs.
25 overs, 67 for 2.
Yeah.
The next 25, they hit 211 runs, the West Indies. Is Fakhar Zaman going to do that? Along with the Babar Azam. Let's wait and watch.
Expect one person to be able to do that has to be Fakhar Zaman.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he hit that 126 in out of 200 against New Zealand
Bengaluru.
in that Bengaluru match. 11 sixes. So yeah, it can happen.
It never looked like that Pakistan would chase 400.
Yeah,
But then
they
also,
did 25, 200 they needed. They were there. So yeah, freaking awesome. What a brilliant catch by Glenn Phillips. What brilliant fielding by Glenn Phillips. Already, I think, the catch of the ICC Champions Trophy for me.
He's taken one such other catch as
T20
well, right?
World Cup, 2022.
T20 World Cup. Again, it was a left-handed catch only.
It was a right-handed full diving catch of, I think it was David.
Or was it in the WTC?
WTC, that was, you're mistaken with Henry Nicholls.
Yeah, that is
Henry Nicholls took a catch of Rishabh Pant. I mean, he had tried to slog Trent.
No, it was Phillips only, I recall, because
Phillips,
fielding again.
Sydney.
Point only he was fielding, right?
At that time, I think it was extra car. He took a brilliant catch. I don't know who
2022 T20 World Cup. Yeah.
New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
And he's taken some 2-3 excellent stops also. I mean, what brilliant fielding by Glenn Phillips. It'll go viral. That catch kind of reminded me of how Collingwood had taken Matt Hayden in that ODI. Kind of like that. I mean, plugged it out of thin air.
This was, very much, yes, he was diving wrong side, by the way.
Yeah.
But this was very much Yuvraj-esque.
Yuvraj, maybe of Mark Boucher, maybe in that
Yuvraj
CT.
doing that on at point, was almost a usual setting.
Yeah, but I think Yuvraj's better catch was that one of Mark Boucher, in which I think it was Boucher.
Yeah.
He swept, Yuvraj dived one-handed.
Champions Trophy.
Yeah, Colombo, that semi-final. So that's
even I think Yuvraj of RP Singh, Yunus Khan was the batter. 2004 Pakistan tour.
Yeah, Pakistan tour. Yeah, 2004 RP Singh.
Yeah. Or 2006. 6.
Yeah.
2005, 2006 season.
Correct. So Sachin Kashyap, Pakistan gone to eliminate and no chance of winning. Worst team in CT. Sachin Kashyap, I wouldn't.
Let's see. I think let's just wait for another couple of hours. Yeah.
But if New Zealand achieve this, then they have never lost to Pakistan
in
the CT.
Let's say, assume Pakistan lose this match. What they must make sure from here on is that they do not lose by a big margin. Only then they'll be alive in CT.
India-Pakistan game becomes an eliminator for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they lose this one, if they lose that, they're out.
See, that's exactly what I was saying. Imagine if one of the teams loses their first match, could be India, could be Pakistan, and then go into the India-Pakistan match. Stakes just go another notch.
But I think Bangladesh doing that.
If India wins tomorrow and then loses to Pakistan and Pakistan loses today, then it's going to be.
Then the whole group is wide open.
Exactly.
Because see, what will happen is if New Zealand win,
1-1-1.
Yeah.
Then India versus New Zealand could be a potential shootout.
Then there'll be more mathematics and less cricket.
Yeah. Like what happened with Pakistan in 2017. India had lost to Sri Lanka, South Africa had beaten Sri Lanka.
You could have one of the Asia Cup scenarios like you did with Afghanistan, where they had to get to the runs inside 40 overs, but they miscalculated and was told wrong information as well.
Yeah.
It could be down to that also. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yep. Rohan Kale.
Rohan Kale has a comment that India is going to need more off spin against Bangladesh as compared to Pakistan, more off spin against New Zealand also, and that's I think primarily because of the number of left-handers the two teams have. Nashley has a comment, and I think he's going with India's possible 11. Gill, Rohit, Virat, Shreyas, KL, Hardik, Akshar, Jadeja, Kuldeep, ARSHDEEP, Shami. Is that what India is going with tomorrow? I think it pretty much looks
ideally
like.
that should be
That's my 11 as well.
It is, but I don't know. I don't think you're going to see an ARSHDEEP there. I think you may see a HARSHIT because I think recency bias might play a role. So yeah, HARSHIT in place of ARSHDEEP, that is the only thing that is there.
Yeah. Sarat Chandra says that he feels Sundar will be playing in place of Akshar tomorrow and will be used in power play with ARSHDEEP. And HARSHIT is poor with new ball, so bring him first change. Hardik and HARSHIT may be used in the middle overs.
I don't think is playing that altogether is a problem.
Expecting then, is he meaning that Washington bowl 5 of his overs inside the power play along with the Shami? I doubt.
See,
while he makes a valid point,
Hardik will also bowl in the power.
No, Hardik is playing bowls in the middle overs with.
See how effective is Hardik Pandya in the middle overs. That we'll have to see because at this point in time, playing a Sundar only complicates the situation a lot
Exactly.
more. But then see, that means you've got batters until number 9. Enough.
You don't need
See,
to-
7, 8, 9, 10. Even if Harshit plays, you're batting till number 10.
You had enough batting in the Border Gavaskar Trophy also, and what happened?
Yeah, you know.
You
in
missed
that.
specialist bowlers.
Yes. So that's why I don't think there'll be much bounce in Dubai. Nashti is saying, I don't know. See, this pitch and conditions, it's a lottery. I really don't know how it's going to be
Let's
in
see,
Dubai.
yeah.
So, yep, so we'll be back. Is there any more comments that we can?
I think that's okay. Puneet Gupta, one last comment that I think India should play Kuldeep in games versus Bangladesh and Pakistan, but they should go with Varun in New Zealand game to give them a surprise because New Zealand always trouble India.
Yep,
Looking at the way that they've played in the match so far, India will really need their A game up.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
New Zealand have a 10-5 advantage against India in ICC events. combined.
Overall ICC events.
Yeah, 5-5 in
They
the
are
World
India's
Cups.
bogey team.
Yeah, 5-5 in the World Cups, 3 in the T20 World Cup, 1 each in the CT and WTC. So it's 10-5, and they are playing after 25 years in the Champions Trophy. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But New Zealand versus India could decide your top 2. It could decide. Looking at the way out is, if it's like India beat Bangladesh, New Zealand beat Pakistan, India beat Pakistan, and New Zealand beat Bangladesh, then that's it. Your top 2 settled in that group then. And let's see how it goes on from that point in time. So yes, it's going to be very, very interesting. We are going to come back with the post-match of New Zealand-Pakistan. Pakistan are not looking in good shape at this time, but they can fight. With Fakhar Zaman and Babar Azam there. You also have Salman Agha, who was in good form in the
Tayyip
tri-series.
Tahir, Khushdil Shah.
Tayyip Tahir and Khushdil Shah, yeah,
There
they're
is
all,
some batting left.
There is, but they're playing only 7 batters. So that's a big problem that they're going to face. So yes, we'll be back for the New Zealand versus Pakistan post-match game, all of us. And tomorrow is the big one. India versus Bangladesh, the first ODI in this Champions Trophy for them. Let's see how it goes in Dubai. Overcast conditions, that's adding more spice into this contest. So Nikhil is in Dubai. He'll be giving you more updates. And from me, Harshit, Nikhil and Shashwat, it is bye-bye. We'll be back soon.
I forgot me, conveniently.
Have I?
Yeah.
Apologize for that. Although it was not intention, but let's see.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
So from me, Shashwat, Gulati, Harshit, it is bye-bye. We'll be back soon.
What's with you taking 2 takes every time? You started the live with that.
This was my take. Can't help it. So bye-bye. See you for the post-match between between Pakistan and New Zealand.
No nandri yet. Eat your vegetables, have your dinner. We'll see you at night. Bye-bye.